you about today's topic, which is like information about how I got certified in Pilates and where my certifications were, where my trainings were, and just a little bit more about me. You hear a lot about my training with Jay Grimes, but not always like how did I like get certified in the first place. And I think it's a good time to like just educate you on like what does certifications mean, especially as Pilates is like just insanely so popular right now, and there's a lot of people who unfortunately will tell you they're a Pilates certification program and they're not. They're training you on whatever their version of Pilates is. And so I think it's just something that I want to educate you on. So before we get into that though, first of all, thank you for being here. I love going live. Obviously, I'm not in my house, but the fun thing is I am literally across the street. There's an apartment building right back there that I lived in for 7 years. I am 2 blocks from the studio that I learned, like I went to Pilates and the person was like, you should be a Pilates instructor. That's the same studio that I rented space at. I am actually looking at the Equinox that I used to teach at for so many years. And then we're a mile from my last studio. So like this is just like a place that's like home. So happy Sunday, guys. Thanks for being here. Feel free to drop any questions about certifications in the chat. I really want this to be educational, informational, and hopefully help people prevent anyone from investing in a program that might not necessarily be what you want. So first of all, before I get into that, I'm going on tour. We're less than 2 weeks away. In fact, 2 weeks from today, I'll be back in LA teaching an open gym class and a training on the arm back connection. But before that, I'll be in Phoenix, San Diego, then it's LA, so opc.me/tour. Then I'll be in Santa Barbara. Then I will be in San Francisco, Sacramento, Eureka, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, Kamloops, Calgary. Calgary is the one you can actually join us virtually if you haven't heard a city that is near you. Just go to opc.me/Calgary, or you can go to the tour and you can click on Calgary and you can get a virtual spot. We're actually limiting how many virtual spots there can be, just in case there's any questions. We want to make sure we can honor everyone's time. Then we'll be in McCall, Idaho, then Salt Lake City, and then Las Vegas. So there's still tickets at every city that I mentioned except for Seattle and Vancouver. All right. And a couple other cities, like 1 spot or 2 spots left. So opc.me/tour to join us there. We've got fun prizes. I want to see you. Um, Hello, Megan. Hi from Detroit. Hopefully we'll get to see you on a tour for someday soon, for sure, in Detroit. Okay. So when someone told me I should be a Pilates instructor, I actually was a little bit shocked. I'm like, I just went to college. Like, shouldn't I do something with my degree? And luckily, they're like, no, you should really do this. You should actually get a training. And they told me what training to go to. So this is back in 2007 and 2008. And they're like, yes, the internet existed, but like there wasn't a lot of training programs that were promoting. Pilates wasn't extremely popular. It was known. Um, I would say it was popular that it was known, but it wasn't like it is today, right? Like not everybody was like becoming a Pilates instructor, and especially in LA, there was only a couple training programs. So I was told a training program to go to, and I was told that they would do a great job. So I actually didn't even do any research, and I was really lucky that the training program that I did go to was actually quite good. It was a 600-hour training program, comprehensive. I had to do mat, performer. I learned on everything, pedipole, all the barrels, Cadillac, high chairs, winded chairs, like everything. And I even had to learn how to teach 2 different people at 2 different levels at the exact same time. So I really was pleased with, like, for a first program, comprehensive program, it was really, really great. And I had to be done in 9 months, and it was thousands of dollars. Okay. In fact, the amount of money I paid for that program compared to like what I charge my mentorship program today and what I hear other people are charging for programs today, it was not very much different. Like, yes, inflation is real, but in the training programs, it hasn't really changed very much. I paid thousands of dollars and I couldn't believe what I was doing. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I don't name the program, and it's only just because they don't exactly do the same training program that I went through anymore. Um, they do have some amazing teacher trainers, so I do want to acknowledge those people because they're dear friends of mine, but it's just a little bit different. And I also don't want my journey to influence your journey, because we might be doing different things. Who you want to teach in this world, how you want to teach it might be different. So my first training program taught me a lot. And again, I am so grateful for the fact that I had to do 2 teach different people to different levels to test out. And I love that they made me do it in 9 months. If I took longer than 9 months, I had to pay extra. That was not happening. So I appreciate all that. But what it really did was make me talk a lot. And the trainer that I had, and this is not the training programs necessarily thing, like their problem. The trainer that I had was just very adamant that we just do it the way that she did it. And there wasn't a lot of space for curiosity and wonder. And guess what? Unfortunately, that's the case in almost every training program today. A lot of training programs, a lot of studios need teachers yesterday. So they're just pumping you through. And they're teacher trainers who mean well, don't always have a way of answering your questions. And so they often say things like, just trust the method, or just like, just do what I said. And I get it. I totally get it. Uh, I get the costs, I get the urgency, I get everyone's trying to get in and out of there as quickly as possible. But uh, I think, there has to be a way to create curiosity and a safe place to ask questions. And I think also teacher trainers could do a better job of like not feeling like they have to have the answer in that moment. Like, I'm going to get back to you. That's a great question. I haven't heard that one before. I haven't thought about it that way. Give me some time, right? So I didn't have a very great experience that cultivated curiosity, and I had a lot of questions. And luckily, I chose to work at a studio where there was a teacher that I wanted to learn from. And I highly recommend this of any new teacher, like go find a studio that you want to have easy access to observing someone. So I like literally when I wasn't teaching, I was like watching her teach. Like I was just like, I made it my job. Like if I didn't have clients, like I was watching her teach, I was taking as many sessions as possible. I highly encourage that for people. She then told me about this other teacher who was coming into town, and that's Amy Taylor Alpers and Rachel Taylor Siegel. And I fell in love with them. I fell in love with how they talked and how encouraging they were and how supportive they were. And when I asked questions, they like it wasn't weird and I wasn't stupid. So I do acknowledge that I went to the Pilates Center in Boulder for a master's program. Hello, handsome boy. Hello, Bayonne. So I went to their master's program in Boulder. They do have an online hybrid way of learning from them, and they have really good teachers and teacher trainers. So I really appreciated them, and they taught me so much, including not over queuing when you don't know what's going on. And that was such a weird like concept for me. And I was with them for several years working on their master's program. I loved how long I could take to do it. And oh, I see. Yeah. And I loved how long I could take to do it and just the encouragement to be curious. And I also loved seeing that all the teachers there took from each other, including Amy and Rachel. Like, they took from their students, and like I just felt like that was really cool. So then I found out that Vintage Pilates was down the street, like literally 1 mile that way at the time. And my mentor here in LA was like, you should go where I go. And that's when I started going through the work with Jay and learning under Karen Frischman and Sanya Shimoda, all that stuff. And that was in like 2011, 2012. 2011. And so, anyways, that's the answer to your question. Like those are how my journey of certification was. I also wanted to say, we say certification in the Pilates world. We actually mean as certificates. All three of those places gave me a certificate. So Just Shields asked a question about, do you think it's important to be NCPT certified? You technically cannot say you're a certified Pilates instructor unless you actually take a third-party exam. And the only third-party exam right now is the NCPT. So I'm not saying you have to do it. We are an unregulated industry. um, and no one cares, right? Like, I'll be very honest. Not a single client has ever asked to see a single certificate. No one who's ever hired me to teach a workshop has ever like wanted to make sure that I actually was trained the way I said I was trained. We joke all the time that Brad could just walk around saying he's a Pilates instructor. I mean, he's watched thousands of hours of Pilates. He's watched more Pilates than a lot of teachers have. So like he could call himself that. He doesn't. But so when someone sells you a program, all they can actually sell you is a diploma, a certificate. To technically be a certified anything, this goes for personal training, yoga, anything. You actually have to take a third-party exam. It is illegal for the people who you give money to train you to then also be the person who says that you're qualified to do what you do. There has to be someone who's not in it. There's not in it for them. So the way I like to explain it was when I was a teacher trainer for Equinox was, if you go to Harvard Law, and yes, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And you go to law school and you graduate, you are not a lawyer. You have a JD, right? Then you have to take the bar exam in your state. That would be the same thing as me being certified, you take an NCPT certification. So do I think you need to do it? You got it. You do what you want to do. I stay NCPT certified because one, I do wish that our industry was regulated in some way. I do think that it'd be really great if someone off the street couldn't take a training over a weekend or a video online and say they're a certified Pilates instructor. I wish that like studios couldn't just open up because they like see money being printed by a bunch of reformers and then tell people to watch my videos and then people are certified teachers, right? I wish that wasn't the case. So I actually do appreciate that there's a certification process that's out there. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it is there. And someday, maybe not today or anytime in the near future, there might be regulation of this industry. And the way it worked when the massage industry was regulated is they actually went through with the exam that was already there. And so anyone who had that exam was kind of like allowed to be already pre-certified, and then everyone else in the industry had to go through it. So I actually don't mind it. It's not complicated. It costs a little bit of money. There's a study guide to take the test. You buy the study guide. I would also take the practice test. It's a pass-fail exam. And then every 2 years, I have to submit CECs to keep it up. Guess what? Every industry requires their people who are trained to take workshops. I think that it's important. So I would just say, like, even if you don't get NCBT certified, make sure that you're also taking time to learn, you know? And I don't think you have to learn, I don't think you have to learn everything. I don't think you're certified in Parkinson's and breast cancer and postnatal and the elderly and teenagers, but like taking education to keep learning is really important. I do this all the time. I take from a teacher 2 to 3 days a week. That's also part of my learning. It's not, I don't get credits for that, but like it's part of my learning. So all this to say, where I think people make some errors is they pick a program that's close to them, that's cheap, and that will get them to be a teacher yesterday. I wrote a book, Profitable Pilates, Everything But the Exercises, because I was so saddened, infuriated, pissed off, frustrated for the people that were coming to get a job where I was running studios and they weren't fully trained. They didn't have the trainings that they needed and they spent thousands of dollars, maybe not as much as I did to be comprehensively trained, but they still spent a lot of money and they were told that they could have a job. And today, with all the different random trainings that are out there, there's a lot of people who can train you, but you can only teach at their studios. And I think that that's really sad because what if you move? Right? Life happens, things are going to happen. I want you to be able to teach anywhere. So if you get my book, you can get it on Amazon in paperback or you can get it on profitpilates.com as an ebook. If you get my book, you'll see that the first couple of chapters basically help you understand like what you're signing up for and give you questions to ask. Because while I am a classically trained teacher and all of my journey has been that way, that doesn't mean that's what you have to do, right? Like you might prefer a more contemporary style training, but I don't want you to choose one just based on like location. I want you to choose it based on what your goals are, who you want to teach, how you like to teach. Are you attracted to the type of teaching that is? So in the book, I actually explain like how to make sure you're asking the right questions so you understand what you're getting yourself into so that you don't get swindled. Some of the people that I have worked with have had 3 basic comprehensive trainings, right? I do offer a mentorship program. It is not basic. It is to take you as a teacher and take you to the next level, not teach you how to be a teacher. And it really frustrates me when I hear people have to take another training, another training, another training because their first 2 trainings were missing stuff and they didn't know what they didn't know. So I hope if you are a new teacher, you're thinking of becoming a teacher, you definitely get my book. If you're not a new teacher and you're wanting to go through another training, I recommend looking at mentorship programs versus like beginner teacher programs because you already know how to teach. You just want to know the method deeper. I have a mentorship program. We have a few spots left for next year. You can go to lesleylogan.co/elevate waitlist, right? Oh, you can go to just /elevate if you want to get the details. Since there's only a few spots left, I definitely would have gone on the wait list. I would just go check it out. But we run it, it's a 9-month program. And then when you graduate, you are part of Elevate for Life and you're part of the alumni community. And we have retreats and we constantly talk. Like you're not just like alone. When I graduated my first couple things, I kind of just felt like, I'm alone, right? Anyways, all this to say, you're amazing. I appreciate your questions. I hope this gives you some food for thought. And I'd love to continue to answer your questions every single Sunday at 9 a.m. or to see you in person on tour, opc.me/tour, right? There's way more we can connect in person. So This is all fun, but also it's more fun to meet in person and just like have some time in like 3D dimensions. All right. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.